All right, we're out at the Mora home, and actually they're Austin's in-laws. So beautiful house out here, taking very good care of it. It's painted with Coronado, so that stuff obviously lasts. The last time they painted, I think Mr. Mora said was about 21 years ago. So relative to that comment, I mean, the house is in immaculate shape. So, but looking for something a little bit more long-term, something more durable. So we're looking at a possible Hardie project here. We would be using an 8 1/4 Cedar Mill Select. We would be doing a fascia overlay. We would be doing kind of a conservative tear-off. Yeah, like really fascia overlay all the way around. And then there would be some insulation added to some of the main living space walls. So that's going to be accounted for in the proposal too. While we're sitting here, we did talk about these 3 6x here. This one especially, and the other 2 minor, but this one especially has significant rot at the bottom. So wrapping those with a Hardie would, one, it would look nice, aesthetically it'd be beautiful, and 2, wouldn't have the maintenance or the worry about those posts continually rotting out. So I would advise that definitely as part of the project. But other than that, like I said, we can kind of point out what areas will be overlaid, which areas will be torn off, and we'll take a quick spin around here. But again, 8 1/4 Cedar Mill Select, and then we'd be doing a fascia overlay. The roof is only a couple years old, so we're not going to mess with the drip cap or the drip edge. So that will stay, and we will do our fascia overlay. There's probably 3 areas, this being one of them. There's one on the back, and then there's one on this side, the right side of the house, that we'll look at that need to be repaired before the fascia overlay. Other than that, really good candidate for fascia overlay, especially with the existing rot that we see. We won't be doing any ancillary painting, so no porch ceilings, no doors, no soffit, nothing like that. We're just looking at sidewall siding and fascia overlay, and the garage door wrap. So these 2 singles will be wrapped. We'll flush that. This would be overlaid here. We'd flush out the center column and wrap it on both sides. So basically it'd be a nice flush center column between the 2 garage doors when things are all said and done. Fascia overlay, this corner definitely has some rot right here. All the little aprons above the windows underneath the porch, prime candidate for overlay. So that will all be overlaid under these 2 windows and the front door. Coming up top to the dormer up there, that is a living space, so that we would take off the siding. We would insulate the walls, and then we would reinstall the siding. Squirrels on both sides up under here on the freeze board are just munching away, so definitely going to a Hardie 1x2 freeze is going to rectify that problem. But you can tell they're just sitting up there and snacking away. Fascia overlay, it looks like this corner, I didn't realize it until just now, but that corner, you're probably not gonna be able to see it in the video, but it does appear that there's some rot on this corner here. So that might need to be repaired before the fascia overlay. We'd be getting rid of this kind of the Tudor trim, and it would be going back just with the standard lap, 8 1/4. Over here, same thing. This part we would just overlay. So we'd take the 1x4 trim off and the transition trim here, and it would be lap siding with no tear off. So we'd be using that from wherever we're not tearing off. We're going to Tyvek or house wrap, Hardie wrap, install our trim, and then install our siding using a butt-to application. Unfortunately, we do have a lot of the hooks from the Christmas lights in the fascia, so those are all going to have to come off obviously before we do our fascia overlay. There's the other part, I don't know if you can capture it in the video, but the squirrel's just snacking up there. So that would be fixed by the Hardie as well. Coming around to the other side, the right side. This is the other corner that needs to be rot repaired. You can see it's been scabbed in on both sides, actually about 1 foot up and then about 8 inches, 9 inches this way. Since this is a living space wall and there's some, pre-existing conditions that we want to get rid of, this would be a full tear off. We would insulate this wall and then reinstall the new James Hardie siding. We'd wrap this window up top. All these windows are brick, so no issue there. And then aside from this little corner right here, looks like we're pretty good as far as rot, so we can just fascia overlay everything else. Power box is down, so we don't need anything there. will take. We're not quite done with the left side, but you can't really see it unless you get back here a bit. There is a small area up top. There you go, where there is a window. So that window would be wrapped. That triangular piece, looks like there's almost, I don't know if that's a laundry room. Looks like a dryer vent. I don't know, that's up high though, it's weird. So that's some sort of vent to the exterior. So this area up there would be done with Hardie as well. Fascia overlay all the way up that gable run, or that rake wall. Over here, this piece, there we go. This piece above right here would be torn off just for depth's sake. We don't need to put OSB because there's already underlayment behind it, but this will be torn off up here. This down below, directly over the window, will be overlaid. We'll start up high. So this wall that we're looking directly at, there's a window wrap. That is going to be a full tear off, even though it really doesn't need it, but it is a living space. So we're going to tear that off, insulate, and then OSB and Hardie. Down below here, again, no painting of the porch ceiling or any of these French doors, garage entry door over there. All these little aprons above, we're going to overlay all that. Overlay the bay window, tearing off all the corner and window trim, so that'll be Hardie 1x4. And then the garage door apron and this, I don't know if that's a kitchen or that window there will be, the apron above that will be James Hardie. But again, nothing under the porch ceiling or the soffit. Looking at the left side. So we got another opposite wall up top, just like the other one that had that tiny window in the vent. So that would all be James Hardie. That would be tear off, so we can put insulation in there. We got this little area right here, overlay, and then the small, it's probably 6-inch run all the way along the length of the patio. That's going to be an overlay of the Hardie as well. No insulation, obviously. And then we got this area, which is probably the worst on the house, right here. As it dives into the roof line, it's basically, you can tell, it was sitting on the roof at one point. That's why it's all rotted like that. So that all needs to come off, and basically install the Hardie with the proper 1.5 to 2-inch margin there above the shingles, and we'll be in business. No further rot down the road. Again, fascia, this area is looks like a little suspect right here. You can see it, and I think it's more than just the paint cracking. I think it's actually wood rot, so that would need to be fixed prior to the fascia overlay. All this area of top of the patio would all be overlaid, as well as these rake holes. And then coming over to the side, really, we have this little bit. This is a garage wall, so this would all area that here would all be overlaid. And got a really nice dog. Name is Jack. Doesn't seem like he's really in the business of hurting people, so don't have to worry about that. And then we got a last little bit right here, another window wrap right there with the unit in it. And then let me mention this. There's a little bit of conduit here. That used to be a drain overflow for the AC. We don't need that anymore, so that conduit can just, PVC conduit can just come off the wall. And then we got this wall right here, a whole bunch of flashing elements that'll be cleaned up. You got a flashing element above the window, another one right here, and another one right there, right here. So that'll be cleaned up a lot by going with the horizontal lap. And then fascia overlay across here, and that's really all we got. You can see a little bit on that upper side of the front dormer up there. So both of those sides, of course, will be taken care of as well. But that's what we're looking at. Again, it's a beautiful house with the Hardie, going to the Hardie there, especially going to the lap, is going to modernize the look, but also just really clean the look up in terms of aesthetically, and it'll look like a brand new house. So it's great to meet you today, Mr. Mora, and we look forward to the opportunity to work with you. Thanks so much.